Good day, everyone. My name is Sianda. I'm going to be the one who's presenting today. Our topic is based on stay productive online. In today's topic, we're going to learn on a lot of things on how to stay online or productive online, how to interact with your customers, how to interact today's presentation. It goes like this: work environment, manage and maintain your well-being. So, in today's session, we're going to discuss about those kind of things on how to stay productive, on how to stay interacting with your customers, and how to improve in your customers. So, into today's presentation, I would like to introduce myself. My name is Sianda. Once again, I'm not going alone. I'm with my moderator, Connie. She'll be the one who will moderate and will be the one who interacting with you on the chat box. Please feel free comment, share anything that you feel like we need to know as this organization. So, as our end today is to know those kind of things. You can actually find us on free bootcamp available from Google to your own business and ready to scale. Sign up for Google Hustle Academy on as you can see on the screen. There you're gonna get a lot of free what you call it free courses whereby you learn and interact and learn such a new ways on how to approach customers and how to uplift your business and how to maintain your business online or how to market your business online. Our next slide is how COVID-19 impact your role, is how COVID impact your business role. This question I'm gonna ask one of you. Please feel free to chat on the chat box. Feel free to comment on the chat box. Feel free to comment on the chat box. So, as I've said earlier on, to do this, you learn on how to manipulate the system of online, how to interact with your customers online, and we're gonna look on different principles on how COVID affected us. COVID it affected us in the such way it will. For example, I'll provide you with my own example. Now need to work from home for each. For example, you can't go to the office, you can't see your colleagues, etc., etc., etc. But before you were participating and share ideas in the same room, but COVID has changed that. COVID has showed us you can also work from home. You can also participate from home. It gives us a bit of a drive. Uh, sorry, a bit of a drive. So our slide is how COVID-19 has impacted us and impacted your role. For example, like I did earlier on for example, now you can work from home. You don't need to go in the office or participate with your colleagues. For example, I used to go to your office. I used to participate with your customers, but COVID hit us hard and showed us we can actually work from home. Some of us they lost their job because companies they saw that they can work with minimum number of employees at home They don't even need the space, which is offices. So they see no reason using the offices. So our next slide. Our next slide is set up your remote office. We all know that the past few weeks or the past few months, the last 2 years, we've been using everything remotely. Even if you want to buy something, even if you are participating with your colleagues abroad, you can also participate via remote. Use your laptop or your phone. You can chat with them. You can actually do a lot of things with them. You can all of you can even set meeting board meeting online, and then you can interact with your colleagues. COVID showed us we can actually work and we can actually interact with everyone. We can even work from home, work for companies that are abroad, but you are here in LA. You can even be a lecture online. You don't even need to go and etc. So where remote your set up your remote office. I'm meaning you can do you can do a lot of things wirelessly. You don't need to go at work. You can do a lot of things wirelessly. So what is remote working? Remote working is a working style that allows professionals to work outside of traditional office environment. I did example earlier on that why this thing of working online, it had shows us that we can participate online. We can even have a meeting online. Even on Teams, you can even create groups when the people want them to have groups. You can do etc 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 etc. So what is remote working? Remote working, it shows that we can work in style online, depending on your environment, depending on your company, on how you want your company to participate. While having the ability to work from outside of a corporate office has been far possible for a few decades, working remotely is only now becoming mainstream. As I've said earlier on, working remotely, it has been a huge impact, and it has shows a lot of companies that people they can work online. It doesn't matter whether they are staying abroad or what. Okay, think of this way. Instead of communicating to any office each day, any designated desk, you can execute your work and achieve your goals whenever you want. So it shows that you can work out at home, you can work in the restaurant. It only depending on you how do you want to work. But remote working allow you to flexibility to design your day so that your professional and personal life can be experienced to the fullest potential and coexist peacefully. We all know other people they can't communicate or they can't participate when they are a lot of colleagues in front of them. They feel nervous or they feel inferior. But the moment you give them their ability, the moment you give them their freedom, they can work whether they're from home, they can work whether whenever they are suitable. You can see them; they are flexible. You can see them; they have that what you call it, that confidence because they are allowed to work flexible whenever they are. There's been a cultural predicament shift in what society dreams to be any appropriate workspace, and remote working has capitalized off that newfound freedom. As I said earlier on, if you are working online, whether you're working from your company's base from Joburg, you are staying from another country, or you're staying from another province, you can work freely. You can work remotely without any delay, without leaving any work behind. Let's check on our next slide. Where can people work remotely? Home, coffee shops, co-working space, library. As I've said earlier on, it depending on you, it's your freedom. It depending on you, how do you want to work? How do you want to to manipulate your days goals, and so so working remotely doesn't mean you only work at home. There are a lot of places you can work from outside lockdown is lifted, of course. From some self-employed people, a home office is the best solution for them. Uh, uh, the, that doesn't mean you can have to. That doesn't mean you have to have fill a corner of your living room with a desk and a monitor. You can fit your office whenever it fits in your life. Even working from the bed, working from the. It depending on you. Where do you want to work? So working at home, it cuts off the commute time, cost less, and give you flexibility with your home life. So you can multitask. You see, you can multitask and do that and do that whilst you are working. So working from home, it gives you that freedom, that allowance. You can do certain things while you're at home, but you must know your priority is your work. Working in public spaces like bar, restaurant, often boost productivity. You see, because in working from restaurant, it can give you a lot of ideas. It can give you that it can give you a lot of freedom. Life can get pretty boring sitting at home working away on your own. So going to the coffee shop, it can bring you that idea, give you that light. You see, humans are social animals, and interacted with others is important for our mental health. We all know that it's very important to interact with others for our mental health. If you don't just work from home but live alone too, then your contact with other people may be limited. Working in cafes give you the chance of at least a smile from someone else and maybe even a chat. So co-working space are the great option for freedom or for freelancers and remote workers. But the fee for dedicated desk can run 100 per amount. So be aware of cost around this. If you don't need if you don't need to make phone calls, library are great places to get work done, you see. So you can choose often free Wi-Fi, a lot of tables. So it's up to you. When you know that you don't deal with cell phones, you only want to work in certain things, and then libraries are for you if you are working remotely. But whenever you choose to work, one thing remains the key, and that's assuring you're equipped with the tools you need to work effectively. You see, when you're working from home or working from restaurant, you must know, all know that your computer, whether you bring your charger, that there's a space for charging place, also the air Wi-Fi, or you bring your Wi-Fi so that you know you have every tool, you know you don't need to suffer. So it's very important to do those kind of research. Our next slide is, what do you need to work remotely? What do you need to work remotely? As I've said earlier on, I did example that what do you need. So, what do you need to work remotely? I'm going to ask this question to you guys. Please feel free to comment on the chat box. Please feel free to comment in the chat box. I see there's no question. Okay, I'm going to move to the next slide. What you need to work remotely, we all know that did earlier on examples. You must be well equipped, such as your Wi-Fi. If you are working online, you need your Wi-Fi. There are a few key elements you need to work remotely. As I mentioned previous on, you'll need a space to work from home, to work from. It's either home or restaurant or hotel or bar or what, but you need a space to work from. If you are working from home, put some thought into creating a working environment that is suitable for the type of work you do. So it's very important to create a office that is you it's based on your work, so that it can motivate you, it can bring that spark. So be respectful of the space, especially if it's a shared space, if it's a shared space. So just because you are not working at an office doesn't mean you can't have an office at home. So rather than working in your room or on the couch, spaces that are associated with larger time dedicated a specific room or surface in your home to work from. Devices. Oh no, that we all need devices when you're working from home. This is the technology you will need to do your work. For example, you will need a laptop if you are working on type of documents and spreadsheets, or a phone if you are taking calls. Sorry, if you are taking calls. So in internet connectivity it's very important. Work today is incredibly collaborative. So if you are working from home, you must know there's schedule for meetings and what. Even if your work is it's offline, so you will also need connectivity whereby it can accommodate when there's meeting, there's what. You may rely on the internet connection to send and receive files, work on live files, communicate with the team. For this reason, any internet connectivity is crucial to a remote working tool. So you must know you have your connectivity at home, because connectivity is very crucial when you're working from home. In SA, in South Africa, internet access can be poor, so people often have to have up to five connections. So here in SA, connectivity is very bad. So you must also know your devices that are connected on the internet are not a lot, more especially when you're doing a time. Maybe you can connect them after hours, but when you know that you are doing a time starting from 7 until 4, you must know that you have few devices, only devices that you are going to use when you're working from home. So working from home is also very tricky. So create your own working space. Find a space inside your home where you will feel more productive. You must avoid bed or couch. Set up a table and a chair. Make sure the space is comfortable for you. Consider your posture. So it's very important to know to know what kind of space you are looking for. The living room or the bed might not be the best place to work if you want to be productive. We all know that you can't work from the bed, you can't work from the couch. That's why creating your own workspace at home is very important, as it will help you concentrate. So pick a place inside your home environment where you feel more productive. So although most people talk of working from the couch comfortably, you will realize that isn't as effective as you may have thought. Consider sitting aside at a table and a chair in a room with minimal distraction. So you can't work online while you're sitting in the couch when there's a TV playing or there's something that is playing at the same. So you won't be productive as much as you will in the office. So a simple desk and a comfortable chair in one corner of your room or on the balcony will work just fine. The workspace doesn't have to be out of this world. It must be something that is comfortable for you, something that it is much affordable. If you're affording something that is very nice, it's up to you. But it mustn't be something that is expensive. What. It must be something that it's flexible for you. So, if possible, create any ergonomically comfortable workspace. By this, we mean a space where you can create comfortable sitting position. Choose a type of chair with back support. Make sure you have comfortable head position where deciding on the position place for your laptop or monitor. Next up, the equipment you will need. So, this physical equipment you might need phone, computer, notebook, depending on on the sort of work you do. May need a phone to answer calls, communication with teammates or chat, a computer working on multiple documents, video calls, conference. Most laptops come with a webcam, but they tend to angle up the user's nostril, meaning any external camera is your best, says the spokesperson. Notebook, keep a notebook handy to joint down thoughts, things to do, ideas, etc., etc., etc. So get stable power. When I say get stable power, finding a stable power supply for working may be one of the major challenges we'll face as a freelancer. So it's very important to find a stable power. To be productive, you have to get stable power to change your device, laptop, mobile phone, etc., etc., etc. One way you can surmount this challenge is getting a generating set. You probably have one already. You can also try solar power devices, inverters, etc. To avoid sometimes load shedding and what. So you must all the time have a backup. So working remotely likely means incurring additional cost of powering generators or purchasing. Uh, I see what I've said earlier on. Working on the go remotely in other locations with Wi-Fi such as cafe, libraries are also a great option. Take your laptop to the place where you can get power while you work. So it's very important to plug your laptop or etc 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 so that you can work effectively. So find a sufficient internet connection. While the cost of data has chipped in recent times, the speed of internet connection hasn't improved much. Slow internet connection means you can't do much online. For example, sometimes I struggle with my connectivity. Sometimes I struggle with my connectivity, but it's all good. But it's all good. I must prepare earlier so that my presentation or whatever I do online, you will be on time. So, uh, um, web pages will take forever to load. This will cause frustration, greatly affect your productivity. To be productive, you have to get decent internet connections. You must get a decent connection so that you won't feel frustrated, you won't feel demotivated because of the speed of the network. This might mean moving from laptop sharing to investing in broad, broadband or fiber to the home internet services. Don't be that person who didn't finish any important task because of slow internet. Ish. You see, you mustn't be that person. Choosing the right ISP, the first step is to choose the right internet service provider, ISP. So, depending on where you live, there will be multiple ISPs to choose from. So, it's very important to do your research on which internet is suitable for your location. The right router, choosing the right kind of router is important as keeping it at the right place. For ideas, signal strength. So it's very important also to choose the right router so that it can give you a proper signal. Make sure the Wi-Fi router is not kept in any closed or blocked by too many things around. So you must make sure your router it's not in the location that is very dodgy or what. Plug in a running network cable from the router to the home office location. It's ideal. So if you plug in so that you know your network, it won't take forever, Wi-Fi won't take forever, and it also assist you. So use facts.com or Google Internet Speed to test and compare internet speeds across ISP. So use facts.com or Google Internet Speed to test and compare internet speed across ISPs when you want to buy internet. This will help you ensure your internet speed is fast and will not affect your workflow. This now we know what equipment we all need. Let's look at some of the challenges we'll need to overcome. Firstly, let's look at the brainwash and connectivity. Companies need to figure out how much brainwash employees need to work at home, stay connected. Technologies such as Video conferences, VC need to receive and transmit data, meaning looking of the download speed only isn't enough. The higher common denominator is needed here. 10 megabyte internet connection isn't necessary. It could be 10 and down only to 2 megs up, meaning the common bandwidth is 2 megabytes. In addition, other users within the household need to be factoring. You see, so it's very important to do a proper research when you want to buy your internet. So, what are the challenges of working remotely? This question I'm going to pose it to you guys. What are the challenges of working remotely? By commenting your answers on the chat box, will be very helpful so that I can check, so that I can see which people are asking questions. Let's go on the next slide. Challenges of working remotely. There are many challenges to working remotely, such as loneliness. Sometimes you wish to be around in a teammates. You wish to interact with your teammates. So loneliness is one of the major drawbacks of remote working, especially for extrovert people. If you are used to the office chats, you might find working from home lonely. However, if you think working alone affects your productivity, you can go to a restaurant or any internet to get your work done. So if you feel like working alone it affects your working process, you can also go with a student or find a place that will accommodate you. Self-discipline. We all know that you need a dedication, discipline, and self-control to avoid losing momentum while working from home. So working from home, you need to motivate yourself because there's no people that are used to work in the office. They might applaud you when you did something great, but hey, what? You might lift your spirit. Sometimes you feel demotivated. So you must be self-disciplined, self-motivated, self-control. So don't convince yourself that a single YouTube video during your working hour won't do any harm. You must be careful. Those kind of things are very, 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 very tricky. Before you know it, you will have spent hours on it, spending hours on watching YouTube channel. Those things are very addictive. So you must be self-disciplined. So self-discipline, you need dedication, discipline, and self-control to avoid losing momentum, as I've said earlier on. So no employee benefits. So won't have employee benefits like health insurance or retirement funds. You must know working from home it also comes with disadvantages. Although it's something very nice, but it also comes with disadvantages. Although at working from home, opportunities in some countries provide medical coverage, the same can't be said when working online in XX. So difficult to switch off. You see, when you're working in your office, you're mostly like conscious of the closing time. So that's not always the case when you're working remotely. Working remotely it can be very tricky because also advantageous because you can work until certain time when you want to finish your task or your activity. So when you're working remotely, the lines between work and home life are buried. So since you're working from your dining room, you might not find it easy to disengage yourself from work. You see, working remotely could make you feel left out occasionally when you miss out on an important announcement, meetings, and events in your office. You see, you're most likely to be last person to hear in your office to hear about upcoming events and important announcement when you're working from home. However, with software like Click, you can keep update yourself while you're working remotely. So, although those challenges may seem large initially, with time and some getting used to it, we can master and overcome those challenges. The benefits of working from home outweigh the cons. For example, in South Africa, of remote working. Let me go to the next slide. Comes with a host of benefits for workers. Flexibility, as I've said earlier on, sometimes there are things you just need to be at home for. You see, whenever it's waiting in for repair service or a parcel, working from home allow you the flexibility to deal with the unexpected. On top of that, there are the everyday tasks you can fit in around your working, like doing laundry or receiving online groceries, deliveries. This is those kind of type of advantages when you're working from home. No communicating. No communicating takes time off your day that you will never get back. And that's before you take into according how long it takes to get ready in the morning. So when you work from home, you can be at your desk or the kitchen table and ready to work within a few minutes of waking up. So it's very advantageous. You don't need to set the alarm work at 4 a.m. You know when you start and work at 7, you can also wake up at half 6 or at, see, you don't need to go and shower and watch out, but no one will see you. So it's very advantageous. So more time with your family, you have more time with your family. Most of the time you are at home, less distraction. With some willpower and steady routine, you'll soon learn to avoid being distracted by the TV or your next load of laundry. In fact, you should find yourself getting more done when you work remotely. That's because you can control your working situation much more. You don't have to worry about co-workers stopping by to just ask a quick question or socialize. You see, when you're working remotely and need to really concentrate, you can just change your status in the group of chat to do not disturb and block and back down. So high morale. Remote employees are notable less and stress and have higher morale than they are in the office. Watch what. So happier, healthier employees produce better work and feel more committed to their companies. From this perspective, remote work is a good business. So or if you are afraid of using this kind of gadget, you must make sure that you learn on how to use them because you can see each year things are changing. Each year things are starting to be online. You see people who are buying online, we are buying groceries online, what we doing a lot of things online now. So it's very important for you to familiarize yourself with these kind of things. So let's go to the next slide. Benefits of remote working for businesses. For businesses, it will reduce over cost, overhead cost. The cost of security and office space is high, especially in major cities like Lagos. Even here at Joburg, it's very high. For many startups, paying high rents places a heavy burden on their budget, facing them to make cuts to vital areas of their businesses. This not only saves rent costs, it also saves on multiples and resources. You see, it also saves other people's jobs because they are working online, not in the office. So that money they use to pay no rent, they can also pay in their in their employees. So those would add up over time and can make a significant impact on overhead. You see, create greater productivity from a highly engaged workforce. It access to wider pool of talent. By allowing employees to work remotely, employees can hire the best talents while not limiting themselves by geographical restrictions. So Benin-based companies can hire workers in jobs and startup in the southeast can have employees that work remotely from the north central part of the Nigerian as long as they have the requirements and skills they need. So people can work internationally, but whilst they are here in South Africa. So this will also promote diversity as different people from different geopolitician zones work together. By offering a remote work option, companies can extend their tenantly to a wider pool of talent. So it improves employees. It improves employees. That is why offering a remote work option can let's find what questions you want to continue. Sorry about that, guys. Network connectivity. So, uh, so, so, I'm sorry about that. Disadvantages of working online. You see. Sorry about that. My network, guys. Uh, so, step to minimize distractions when you're working from home. Let's see. What are those? You must make sure that you let others know your working hours. So, you don't to visit, that friends are working. So they can't do it. Also, if you have a pet, you must make sure that your pet is not around at your working space. So, uh, must also avoid TV all the time because TV can also distract you. So if you have a family at your home or neighbors and friends, let them know your working hours. As I've said earlier on, it's very important. That's way they can speak to you at times which suit both of your needs. This will allow them to interrupt. This will allow them to interrupt you only if it's urgent. You see. So if it's urgent, they can also they can disturb you. But if they want to say things that they must wait when you're working from home. Do one thing at a time. After breaking breaking down your huge process into smaller, doable pieces, choose one and dedicate entirely to it. After you complete it, you can move on to the next one. So then it is more important to you to avoid those kind of things. Avoid TV and the household distractions. As I've said earlier on, put away all pets. While we love our furry friends, they will only distract you. Save the animal love for after work hours, so you know that you're working uh, 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 your hours that you should supposed to work. Take a regular break. Even breaks at 10 a.m. You must take that break, and then 10 with one. You must also take that break. Take regular break, so you know that you are working at that time. So the only so much our brains can handle before it starts falling and it causing greater distraction. Get up from your table, go for a short walk, or grab a coffee. You'll find that when you go back to work, it will be a lot of easier to avoid distractions because you already did took a break off. And minimize your distraction will help you optimize your productivity when working remotely. How can you improve your productivity within teams? Uh, uh, so, how can you improve productivity within teams? Please feel free to comment your answer on the chat box. Project management, uh, remote teams, numbers need to be able to plan and cooperate and collaborate and on comments, delivering level and task. They also need to track the flow of work from the start to the finish. Establish a vision and deliverance. establish logistic for team communication, promote visibility and transparency of all work, track the quality and status of project, identify and address bottlenecks. So next up, communication. So 70% of workplace mistakes are due to poor communication. 70% of workplace mistakes are due to poor communication. Communication plays a fundamental role in our daily lives. For some, good communication comes naturally, but for others, it can be hard to articulate their thoughts and feelings in the conversation, often leading to conflict and fundamental errors. Whether you are ineffective communicator or not, it is essential to understand the importance of good communication and it how can help you move forward in the working world. General communication. It is important to communicate effectively when you're working in general, but disparate team can impact the efficiency of more traditional company communication. There are different communication tools that can work more effectively than others to communicate with teams, uh, with, with teams depending on the purpose or task at hand. Emails are particularly useful for businesses communication. Group mail allow you to send a single mail to a large number of participants. Unlike insulting message or instead chat, responses from emails can take in longer and messages may get lost in the spam. Messages platform can facilitate many of the daily functions and physical workspace or any internal email thread would normally perform. There are a lot of chat based on platform out there that allow you communicate more effectively with your team. But what rules can we create to communicate more effectively? Set rules to communicate effectively, and therefore creating the right communication channel and ensuring everyone knows how to use them is essential. Visual teams don't always choose their communication channels wisely, which can harm trust, increase tension, and create unnecessary work. Think about what kind of things will be communicated in the channel. Action teams, action items, feedback, deadlines, reminders. Consider your audience. Make sure your message is appropriate. Communicate clearly, respond promptly, set and role model the guidelines. How future technology impact employees by clutch, photo by linked sales navigator on Unsplash. So, video meetings and calls, meeting, Zoom, Teams, Skype. It is important to communicate effectively when working in general, but can impact effectively on traditional company communication. There are different communication tools that can work more effectively than others to communicate with teams depending on the purpose of the task that you might have at that time. So, message platform can facilitate many of daily function, physical workspace, or any international workspace trend would normally perform. There are a lot of chat-based on platform out there that allow you communicate more effectively with your team. So either of those you can use to communicate with your team, depending on your team. Google Meet, it keep your team connected with enterprise grade video conference built on Google repos in a secure global infrastructure. Meet is included with G Suite and G Suite for education. It take advantage of the same secure by design infrastructure built in production in global network that Google uses to secure your information and safeguard your privacy. So it's very safe. Meet video meetings encrypted in transit in our areas of default on anti-abuse measure. Keep your meetings safe. So Meet is fully integrated with G Suite. So it's very safe and user friendly. So you can join meetings directly from the calendar event or email invited. So all of the important and events details are right there when you need them. So whether you are you are joining from a computer or phone or conference room, it's there. With Meet, specially designed iOS and Android apps, you can see your meetings for the day within all the important information from your calendar. Then join with the tab. So it's like that. So G Suite Enterprises Edition also creates a dial in phone number for each meeting. So every guest has a great experience even on the road without Wi-Fi or data. So next up is Zoom. Let's check Zoom. So Zoom is any application that can be downloaded either on your computer or mobile devices. You can request a demo and even download it for free. Zoom is for free the first 45 minutes. You can use Zoom to host or join a meeting for online classes through the app by accessing any email invited. Zoom can be downloaded on either PC and Mac, Android, or iOS, and on to 100 people can join any online class or meeting in the free trial mode. So it's very useful. Let's go to the next slide. Microsoft Teams. Microsoft Teams, you create teams and channels to organize or dependents, separate groups, and enable teams to work more effectively. It utilizes the chat and video calls function to boost communication. There are also GIFs and emojis to use, share documents, and collaborate with is use add function to check and notify team members. Message is included in your Microsoft 365 package. So also it's very user friendly. So Skype, it is always on the go. While it can be difficult to group or friends, family members, or coworkers together in one place. With the Skype video chat app, group calling for up to 50 people is available for free on just about any mobile devices or tablet or computer. Group video chat makes it easier for up to 50 people to meet and collaborate all once. With group screen sharing, you can present PowerPoint, slide, video recording, and more to your entire team. Remote co-workers can work more effectively, assign projects, and discussing due dates are faster and more productive with face-to-face conversation through Skype group video calling. With the Skype video calling chat, you have access to verify or innovate features. Immersive full screen video allow you to focus on your work while you attend a meeting or just casual chat friends. Send chat invite you to anyone, even to people or clients who don't use Skype. So user Skype is very friendly. By using a unique link through which they can connect with you, even background blurry, focus on the speaker, not the background, with the new features on the Skype. How to run effective meeting. Step to the run effective meeting, a set agenda. Those help you to frame discussion in the wider session. Ensure everyone is on the same page. Consider your tone of voice. If you're working remotely, people can see your language, your body language is easy. So your voice is all they have to go by. Make sure your intonation is good and your expressions expressive, not monotone. Encourage participants to use cameras. It is important to connect with each other, make things more personal, boost non-verbal communication, be timely, don't leave people waiting on calls, be punctual as you would for an in-person meeting. Let's go to the next slide. So video conference, Few have given much thought to how they should behave in this new reality of work. Employees are still technically at work, so would wearing sweatpants and t-shirt be acceptable? Are we permitted to let ourselves go as we believe we likely won't be seeing anyone today? Those all are all considerations which though might seem trivial and not necessary. People who have been working from home for some time understand that discipline is key to successful workday. During this during this time, you will be need to conduct video conference. Here's some steps to guide your running effective preparation for yourself. Dress properly. Do not turn up in sweatpants and tank top. Properly will help you get into mindset of work. No, consider your lighting. Another consideration is where the light source is coming. Adjust your camera for different construction to face can appear clearly. Desk lamp is in position and from above to reduce shadows as well as light up for your face recommended. If you wear glasses, you should conduct some tests so that so that so that it reflects on your lenses. So consider your background. In order to clearly visible, it is good participant to use a natural background with little of no environment thing brings or what. So the color you wear should also be contrasted with their environment to ensure you stand out in the video. In the video, the, some VC conference tools allow background blurring, so some others allow you to change your background. Lastly, let's turn our attention to boosting collaboration. So tips of for collaboration effectively: equip your team with the right tools, make project management easier, make document sharing a breeze, encourage collaboration between equipment departments. Sorry, prioritize your company culture. Final top tip for productivity: always a final top tip for productivity. It's time of coronavirus pandemic. Remote work of working from home has moved from being a pig to a police. How productive you are during this period of social distraction could set as precedence in making a case for against working from home in the future. Here are some final tips to help you work effectively from home during this pandemic and stay productive. Over communication, communicate with your team regularly and keep them in the loop of whatever you're doing, whether you are sick or what. Unlike in the office environment, when working remotely, your team members can't see what task you are doing. So be disciplined, prefer into temptation. Yeah, don't fail into temptation. A remote work is not vacation or paid leave. Since there is no supervisor looking over your shoulder to sleep, chill, and watch your favorite series may seem tempting. Don't turn off your phone, ignore communication with your boss and colleagues, and give excuses. Discipline yourself, work from the home, and earn your pay. Have your tool ready. For most people that can and would be working remotely, the lifeblood of their productivity is power and internet. So make sure you have interactive resource of power, generating set or inventor, ultimate faster internet services. You also find the tone of the distribution company of area and dance to it. Work when they give you light. Be but if nothing is working, let your boss know. They can get you a power pack. Find your booster and use it. What gets you into the invisible work mood? Playlist, energy drink, or snack. Whenever ignites you, stimulate use it in this. it's trying in distraction time to keep your head up. Use them. So depending on your employment situation, you may have a flexible working hours. Use this to work with use this to work when you are most active, whether night or any time. So it's very important. Now it's time for some questions. I'm gonna pause a bit and ask any questions, guys. Feel free to answer any question. Feel free to answer any question, guys. Feel free to answer any question, guys. Okay, let's go on to the next slide. Manage and maintain your well-being. Our next topic. Why it's important to manage your well-being? Why it is important to manage your well-being? Let's look at it. Uh, impacts your overall health. You are healthier and fitter when you're managing your well-being. It leads to greater productivity. You are more motivated. You are more focused. You work better and more quickly. Increase your resilience. You can overcome obstacles head on. You don't crumble in the face of challenges and setbacks. It boosts your morale and lives of happiness. You feel more engaged, supported, and happy. This has a huge impact on your working life. So now do we know why it is important to manage our well-being? What can you, what we can you do actually from that? Let's check on the next slide. What can you do to manage your well-being? So, uh, 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 one of the reasons may manage many managers don't approve of remote working is they fear employees will slack off without that physical in person or on site. But in fact, the opposite tends to be the reality. Remote working can result in overworking. So, because they can give you a lot of work and they know that by you're gonna work until certain time of you're gonna push yourself because you will want to finish that work. You see, when your personal life and your work are both under the same roof, it's harder to switch off. You see, so those are the kind of type of challenges that you face when you're working from home. So make sure to allow yourself break through the day. Be clear with your team on what you are leaving. For example, by making a quick announcement on a Slack and then actually shut down your computer. Turn off notification on your phone and computer so you are not pulling back into work after hours. So set appointments on your calendar for the end of the day to get yourself out of your work office. So e.g. go to the gym or grocery shopping or just take a walk around the block. So what other top tips are there? Let's check onto the next slide. Be ready for the culture shift. So you must be make sure that you are ready for the culture shift. Be ready for the culture shift. Beyond the basis of power supply and internet access for employees, traditionally companies will also have to revise aspects of their establishment, work, and organization culture to embrace remote work. Traditionally, companies often appear bent down by concern about providing links. So you should choose to trust that the performance materialistic we have put in place will trample the insufficiency. Rethink how they see work because sitting down for hours straight doesn't equate to better or more work done. It's all well and good if people want to do their jobs from home, but if they don't have electricity or fuel or good internet connectivity, nothing productive is going to happen. So those are the disadvantages when you're working from home. Those are the things that you should consider when you're working from home. Managing your overall well-being. Encourage exercise within your teams. Take mental health as serious as physical health. So it's better to hit the gym when you're working from home because most of the time you are sitting, doing that. You are sitting because you are not taking walks and what. Hold a regular performance checklist check-ins. So you must have something that you checklist. I said I'm gonna do this. I've done it, and what. Encourage workers to separate work and private life. Organize in person and social meetups. Finally, your chance to ask some question. Please feel free to ask any questions. Feel free to ask any questions. Feel free to ask any questions. I'm gonna pause a bit. Let's continue. The next step. Today's session is just the beginning. What What one thing will you do or change following this session? What will you implement first? So it's very important to apply this session or to ask what kind of question, what will you implement, what we have learned in this question. Feel free to leave any comment on the chat post. We also available on the social media platform. You can find us. So what are your next step? What are your next steps? You can also find this session or on bootcamp, free bootcamp available from Google. Uh, do you own a small business and ready to scale? Sign up for Google Hustle Academy. As you see on the screen, there are free courses. You're gonna learn a lot, and there are things that might boost your business or things that might help your business. So it's very important if you own a small business, you want to scale. Check there on free camp. You can also find us on social media platform. Find us on Facebook, find us on Instagram, find us on Twitter. You can find us even on LinkedIn. It's up to you. Where do you want to find us? And feel free to comment about us on our social media platform about these sessions. If you want another sessions or you want to ask questions, feel free to do that. And also, thank you so much for you guys to join this session. Having an amazing day, and once again, thank you. Have a lovely evening.